What is up guys, this is Prestige. Now in today's video we're going to talk about how the dev team for Dayz could implement a map editor for our friends on Xbox and PlayStation, giving them the ability to create their own versions of much loved maps, all their own, just like Essica, Namalsk, Dirol and so on. You guys voted for it. Here it is. So this is a video of what Dayz needs to add. Now starting off, I got a comment on my Dayz in 2022 so far video from Angola. And the comment said, it would be pretty sick to give people a map builder where you could get a procedurally generated map and let people build their own instead of having to wait for them to make another themselves. At least for me, I've ran through Cherno and Livonia so much, it would be super refreshing to be in a new area, and since I'm playing on the Series X and don't have the luxury of playing Dirol, Essica, etc. Now this is one of those comments that just really sticks with you. Like the idea is simple enough, and it's a really good idea, so surely it could be done, right? And it had me thinking, why hasn't the dev team implemented something like this already? And secondly, how hard could it be to have a feature like this? We know that console doesn't have the luxury mods like Dayz on PC has. But as of late, some of the most commonly used mods on PC have made their way over to console, and they've been done as configurable options for server owners that they can put on their own servers, just like unlimited stamina and build anywhere. And they were received extremely well by the community, and definitely a welcoming addition for our friends on console. So I couldn't see how something like this couldn't be a gateway to more and more custom maps on both consoles, Xbox and PlayStation. I'm not going to include PC in the statement as they have mod features and the terrain builder already. This would be its own thing that in reality could be used on both console and PC if wanted. And making this work would be able to be done without the use of mods apart from what's needed for creating the map itself. So in this video, I will share my thoughts with you on how I feel this could be done. But what I want from you guys is to tell me if you could build any map for Dayz on console, what kind of map would it be? What's your dream map? And what would the story behind it be? Let me know in the comments below. Now starting off, the principle of how this would work is the same as how you make custom areas via Dayz community servers. But I'm also wanting to add a disclaimer that I am in no way good at using this software. This is one of the few times I've used it, so I'm still learning, and if there are any faults or so on, or even some tips on how to use the editor, let me know below. And I'm also going to point out that this was done just off the shoreline by Feasibility Island on the Dayz map. So first off, you're going to need a PC and a copy for Dayz for it. Now for the editing, I don't believe you would need a super powerful crazy beast of a PC. As long as it's able to load the game, you should be pretty well okay. Then with the game, quite often they go on special on Steam, so you should always be able to get it relatively cheap, so keep an eye out for specials. Now you'll need to install your mods including the Dayz editor. The mods are only used for getting it open and to function. They are not needed for the server, so you don't need to install anything on the Xbox or PlayStation. This is used to create the map itself, including the terrain, points of interest, towns, villages, melee areas, and whatever else you would like to see or add. The main thing that Dayz would need to do is add a blank canvas map to the selection. Just like Dayz and Livonia, this would be a third option that would be called blank or something like that. This is what the server owners would use to set up the map for the server. Now just spitballing a few ideas out here, but to make sure no one loads into the water accidentally, it would consist of a starting island, and that can be with or without a pump, and one spawn location. And this is so you don't start off in the water during testing and checking the progress of your development. Now, as the map is made, and as you're developing it more and more, you'd be able to add more spawn points in your files for players, zombies, animals, and so on. Now, I'm sure there's a scale speeder video on YouTube on exactly how to do it. So when you get to that, I guess you would be able to follow one of them and get the steps done. Now, the second principle is just like all the new static spawn items that the devs recently added to the files for building custom areas, they would just add more, but they would be terrain pieces. The ones I use in this video are for a mod on the Steam Workshop. It's terrain islands from Gorman, and it would not work with PlayStation and Xbox. But this is just for a demonstration and a proof of concept. So basically, for the main concept would be if the devs added some generic shapes like hill chunks in various sizes, flats in various sizes, divots, curves, bends and other types. This would be for the various terrains like the Cherno with grass, Livonia grass, both with grass, no grass textures, mainly for when placing buildings and roads, so the bits of grass and bushes don't come through the road. Also add some sandy shores and gravel. This would allow for building islands, mountains, caves, underground networks and so on. And I could see that with this and the creativity of the community, the possibilities are honestly endless. And another addition that could be added to this is snow-covered terrain. This would allow console to experience a map with snow, and to even build a map that starts off dense like Livonia forest and then thins out to snowy mountains. They could even have so creators could upload these online for others to use and work on their own I Survive maps. I would love to know your guys' thoughts. And for all you guys on consoles, I'm thinking it would truly be a good show of faith towards you guys. Because currently, as the console community is only to build islands and say oil rigs, and they're very industrial looking. There's no nature, the oil rig's not so much an issue, but with people trying to build actual islands or cave networks, this would make it much better, more functional, and it would look more in line with an actual developed map. Now, I do want to throw it out there that I'm not an expert, so I don't know if this is something that actually is possible. If any of you are more educated or have more understanding of this kind of thing, please let me know, get in contact with me. I'd love to have a discussion. And I also want to take the time to thank everyone for the support lately. You guys are the true MVPs, and I'll see you in the next one.